Alrighty, so it's time for me to replace my dust ejector. So my dust ejector, which I colorfully like to call the bird beak, disintegrated on me. It turned into this mushy gum. So what I ended up doing is I got a valve stem, and I put a valve stem in here, and I put that inside a bunch of other stuff. Let me peel this off and show you what I did here. If I can get this actually to come off. It's probably on here pretty good right about now. This is just electrical tape. I put it in a position because I did not want to leave this hole wide open. Because if you do, what ends up happening is all sorts of particulates get sucked back into here, and it will completely clog up your filter really quickly. I think I'm gonna have to put this up on the desk. As you can see, the inside is pretty clean, and that was the idea, because if you start introducing a lot of dirt, that's just going to murder your pre-filter pretty quickly. That's interesting. So it looks like some dirt was actually coming down from the inside. Let me aim it down so you can see what this looks like here. Right inside here, and then that goes right down to this dirt ejection port. Too bad in there. So this is what I ended up doing. I had this little fitting here. And I just put a little air filter in there. Air filler rather. That's a valve stem. Just put it in just so that water could get out and maybe not so much stuff come back in. Because as you can see, you should be able to see, you can see through it anyways. Alright, so we have our genuine Kubota part here. And there's our bird beak. So basically when this is hanging down, it stays like this, and it might be slightly open, and as soon as the engine starts to draw in, it sucks together. So the only thing that it's going to do is eject stuff when the engine stops. It kind of opens up slightly, or you can pinch it and you can get all the main junk out. Which is why it's called a dust ejector. Alright, perfect. And this is going to go on. Of course, you can see it says up here. Let me turn the light on. There, that's better. Okay, whoop, my up is not up yet. There, now my up is proper. This is hanging downward. All sealed up. Clear that out, and we're good to go. Alright, so I'm in the process of doing a hydrostatic refresh here. All my fluids here. Yeah, there you go, UDT2. Got a whole bunch of that stuff. Got my filters. And then I ended up getting a little bit nervous because I changed one filter. Fine, that one looks good. And then this other filter was behind the cage that's here. So this cage was a whole nother fun ball of wax here. So this thing bolts on. And then there's also a couple of bolts that go in from the bottom, and they are Allen keys. and the Allen bolts had like mashed right off, so I had to get underneath there and grind them off. So yeah, they look just like that. So, except for they were mashed down. And these, when I put the tool in there to undo these, I couldn't undo these either. So I'm gonna grind these off as well. And I'm just gonna put regular bolts in there. I have no earthly idea why they would put Allens in there to begin with. I suppose just to annoy the living shit out of me. And then I got another scare. The last time that this had been replaced was at my original dealer, which was many, many years ago. So when I turned this before, it was loose. So I moved it by hand, and I was like, ooh, that's not great. And so I'm looking at the numbers on there, and then I looked at my brand new filter, and the brand new filter said oil filter, which kind of scared me to begin with, because that one there says suction filter, and that one's a 71, and this one's a 72. I'm like, uh-oh. And this looked shorter in the box. I guess it's really not, but I had to look the number up. It's correct. So this, well, once I take the plastic off from it, this one here is the right one. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised that this was loose, and I think that kind of explains why this whole area is so dirty back here. I had actually power washed this a little while ago, and yeah, you can see what it looks like now. Yuck. Okay, so I cleaned that mating surface off and put a little bit of oil on the filter from the pan down here. Put that on, and then I'll tighten it up. All right, it's on now. Plus I used a 1/4 of a turn with this. That's because that's what they tell you to do in the book. And that will be that. All right, here we go. This is a little easier with 2 hands because I'm using the gallon containers. And they're a little more unwieldy. But it's going okay. Just holding it with one hand was a little more than I was expecting. That's why I got that uneven surge, like you just did again. I've already put 1 gallon in. This takes 2.6. So yeah, I'll see when it's time to check the level. This is definitely thin stuff, so it goes in really quick.